What's up, gang? Welcome to the channel. Robert Linkul with trainingtheolderadult.com, and I want to give a shout out to our friends over at InBody, sponsors of our channel, and we absolutely love their InGrip, one of the best products that you can get out there on the market. This is your dynamometer to test your overall grip strength. Easy read screen, quick start and stop, hit your reset button, get a great grip, super comfortable, easy to clean in between uses, and easy to record. Also, you have your Bluetooth connection to your InBody scanning devices, making this whole process to be able to get a overall longevity predictor and an overall body score at this moment of body fat and BMI and everything else that goes with this, and the grip strength that is all connected. So head over to InBody USA and check them out. Check out the InGrip and all the other amazing products that they have. Thank you, InBody, and now on to the show. TOA, Fit Body Forever and Fit Body Bootcamp communities. What's up, everybody? Robert Linkul here, trainingtheolderadult.com and your director over at Fit Body Bootcamp. We are here today to talk, number one, about the TOA workshop that is coming up on November 7th and 8th. You can still register. Head over to trainingtheolderadult.com. You can join us on Zoom anywhere in the world, and you can also join us in person here in Rancho Cordova/Sacramento at Fit Body Bootcamp Rancho. It's going to be an awesome event. All kinds of prizes, great speakers, hands-on content, etc. It's going to be fun. So pop over there, get your CEUs with NASM and or NSCA, and any other accredited organization will accept those CEUs. We'd love to have you. All right, we're going to watch a clip here, and it is, shocker, Dr. Peter Attia on 60 Minutes, talking specifically about grip strength and longevity and how these correlate. So let's listen to this, and then I've got a bunch of research to show you. All right, here we go. Peter Attia and action.
Strength is important according to Dr. Peter Attia. How do you test your grip strength? Well, you can hang from a bar.
Okay, good. Let's keep going. If you look...
Okay, first of all, this test right here, this assessment, is extremely difficult and super risky if you've never done it, okay? Dangling your body weight from a bar and just allowing your joints, your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders to dangle like this, she's doing a pretty good job of staying tight. You can see her muscles engaged. Her elbows are not locked out. She's pretty good. Her lats are flaring out, so her shoulders are quite extended. This, if you've never done this, you may think like, oh, I could just go and do that and I'll be fine. I had a client of mine tear rotator cuffs and had ulnar nerve displacement in both elbows doing the same thing. Grabbed onto a pair of rings, and she was on the beach and walking on the beach, saw these rings, was hanging up on these rings, and did the same thing. Rotator cuff tore both on both shoulders, ulnar nerve displacement in both elbows. So super, super risky. The way to actually test this is with a dynamometer. And my favorite one is from InBody. They have the InGrip, and it's awesome. Fantastic piece of equipment, but any dynamometer will test your grip strength in kilos or in pounds. You can assess that and then compare it against the charts of what Peter's going to talk about here in just a second.
The correlation between grip strength and dementia onset risk and dementia mortality. It's a staggering association. My best explanation for this is that grip strength is itself a proxy for overall strength. The type of strength that we're talking about here is acquired, not inherited.
I love that. It's acquired, not inherited. So you'll get people that are like, well, my grip strength is amazing. And you're like, well, what do you do, for your profession? And they're like, I'm a plumber, or, I'm a wood whittler or something. Well, you could be a 450 pound, 50% body fat plumber, right? And you just wrench and work on pipes all day and you have amazing grip strength. Well, you've acquired that grip strength, but it's not a very good indicator of your overall health. With the general population, right, the correlation that we see here is if you have good grip strength, that's been in coordination with efforts of you to be really active in your daily life all elsewhere. So you probably are quite active, 94% accuracy, I believe that's the actual number, 94% accuracy with the correlation between a good grip strength and an active lifestyle. And that correlation can, as he was saying, go into predictive measures on longevity for cardiovascular health, for cognitive health, for physical fall risk reduction, etc. Like the better your grip strength, it correlates with all of these other really great health parameters. The weaker your grip strength, the less likely you are to live longer and higher quality of life, be more of a fall risk, etc. So that's a great way of saying this, is that if you're earning this grip strength 94% of the time, it's because your entire lifestyle is actually really solid and active. Where the other 6%, they're somewhere in that plumbing, realm where they just, they woodle and they work in their shop, even though, their BMI is 35 and their only form of cardio is walking up the stairs at night to go to bed. They do no other training whatsoever. They eat cheeseburgers and mayonnaise sandwiches all day long. Like that's that kind of thing. But if you're in the shop, moving cast iron around and wood whittling and I don't even know, what wood whittlers do. I just know they use their hands a lot and they move things around. And their grip strength's usually pretty damn like dad strength, right? You get a lot of those dads out there where it's like, my dad never lifted a weight in his life until his last 3 years of life with me. Prior to that, I saw the man like unscrew the bolts off of a tire when we were changing it in the snow, like a very Christmas story moment. We're out on the side of the road, it's cold, and I'm trying to unwrench these lug nuts, and he just, out of frustration, comes over and just grabs them and turns them with his hand. I was like, oh my gosh, how did you do that? Right? Like, it's just this old man strength that's like built in there. That's the other 6%. Okay. That's, you don't just naturally get that most of the time. You've got to have something else that you've done. And granted, my dad was in the Army and served for many years and, was quite athletic in his prime, in his 50s at the time, not in his prime. All right. So you are earning this. You can't inherit grip strength. That doesn't work. Your parents could be Brian Shaw and, I don't know, the world's strongest woman, whoever that is, Jill something. Those two could create the ultimate strong person baby, and they are not guaranteed to have a good grip strength. They aren't. Genetically, they are set up to do that, but you've got to earn it. You cannot inherit that.
Had to do a bunch of work to get it, and it's the work you did that is actually what's protecting, in this case, your brain. There you go. All right. 140.
If you're 40 plus, for a woman, you should be able to hang for 1.5 minutes. For men, it's 2 minutes.
You can see she's fit, right? But she's feeling that. That was really hard on her grip. 1:40 is super impressive. That's great. I think the goal is, oh yeah, they just said it right there, 1.5 minutes, and then it was 2 minutes for men. Very, very difficult. Very difficult. So hard on your grip.
People also talk about the farmer's carry. So for a woman, you're supposed to be able to carry 75% of your weight and be able to walk for a minute holding those weights.
So I think the goal is you just want to be doing all of it.
Okay, and that's a suitcase carry that she's doing right there. So the goal, as he's saying, you want to be able to carry all of your body weight. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you'd want to be able to take 75 pounds in each hand and carry, I believe he says about maybe 300 meters, I think is the actual test. Something along those lines. Up to like 1.5 minutes, somewhere around in there. Like you want to be able to carry it a significant distance. And for the ladies, though, it's about 75% of your body weight. For men, I think it's 1.25 our body weight. So at least body weight is kind of the goal for men. 75% for the ladies. I'm confusing you. But there are other, levels of goals here with being able to, in a hex bar, pick up your body weight and just go. Just carry it for a distance. And we're talking more than like 3-4 steps and then set it down. Very difficult to carry. I'm 250, so I would need 125 pounds in each hand. Now, if you put 250 on a hex bar and I pick that up, I could carry that for days, like no problem carrying my body weight on a hex bar. You give me 250-pound dumbbells, I'm going to struggle. That's quite difficult. The frame of the implement around you, being able to manipulate one framed piece of equipment versus 2 individual dumbbells swinging and banging and bumping onto your thighs, and just so difficult. That's why you'll see in the strongman competitions, they have like a frame carry that they do that'll have, 900 to 1,100 pounds on it. And you're like, holy crap, how does their body even maintain and hold a posture to be able to pick up that load and then carry it? Well, the frame is 8 foot long and 4 foot wide, and they can learn to use their leverage, but they're manipulating one framed implement. Literally, the frame of it is what gives it the advantage of being picked up. But when they carry like individual, they call them torpedoes. They look like torpedoes with handles welded to them. Those will be 300 pounds each, and they struggle. And you're like, well, that's only 600 pounds. You're doing 1,000 over here. Almost double sometimes. Why are these two so much harder? Because they're not hooked together. They're independent, and they swing, they're long, they bang on their thighs. Like, it's a really difficult thing to do. So again, another one that I can just see all of you go, oh, I want to go see if I can do that. And you just go over, well, I'm 200 pounds. Go over to the 100-pound dumbbells and just grab them and try it. You're going to rip your arms out of the socket. This is something that you need to train for. So go over and grab 20-pound dumbbells and see if you can go out and walk back and forth, arms tight, shoulders tight, core tight. If you could walk down your driveway and back for 30 seconds and then set them down and then do it again and then set them down and then do it again. And there's your minute 30. And if that goes well, do that a couple of times, in a week, then go to the 25s and then go to the 30s and then take those 30-second increments and turn them into like 245s. And then eventually do a minute plus another minute, something like that. We can overtrain a little bit. And then eventually your goal is to do the full minute and a half and just go and start to level up your weight until eventually you get, 75s in each hand, and there's your 150 pounds, and then give it a test. And that would be your goal, right, to build up to that. But I would take 2 to 3 months to do that. Do not just go out there and grab weights and start walking around, because doing a farmer carry versus a walk, they're different. You need to learn how to do these.
For me, the biggest takeaway interviewing Dr. Peter Attia is all the things that you can do to keep yourself healthy. One of the most important things is exercise, not only improving your cardiorespiratory fitness, but also your grip strength and your muscle strength.
Okay, see what they're doing here?
To keep yourself healthy. One of them.
So this is Rucking. We talk about this all the time. Check the channel. I've got 10 videos on it. She has a rucker on, and you can see the hip straps, right, that are hooked on here. She's got those cinched up, perfect on her hips the way she's wearing it. Okay, it's going to give good support. Let's say she has 20 pounds in there. She's got probably 10 to 12 pounds of pressure sitting through her hips and the other 8-ish pounds sitting on her shoulders. Peter, however, as he's walking here, and he talks about this often, he uses the hip straps occasionally, but he doesn't actually like those. He wants all the stress sitting through his shoulders, and often he will, if I'm recalling correctly, he will talk about how he doesn't like to use the hip supports all that often unless he's like climbing uphill, if I remember him correctly. Some people are built that way. Some people like all the stress to sit on their shoulders. Some like all of it to sit on their hips. If you engage with any mountaineers, people that go out on, long, 8, 10, 12 day adventures where they're off into Denali, going across glaciers in Elbrus, or in headed towards Mount Vincent. It takes like 7 days to get there. You're trekking across these tundras, right? You're on this excursion, this whole event to go. You're going to spend days with your backpack on. You don't want all that pressure sitting on your shoulders. The frame of the backpack is designed to sit all the weight on your hips. And then the shoulder straps basically just keep the backpack upright. But your hips are taking all that load because your hips and your butt and your legs are much stronger to resist this downward pressure than your shoulder blades and your spine is. And so for multiple days at a time, you would want to use those hip straps as often as you can. If you're going out for an hour, there's plenty of rucks that don't have hip belts to them. You just hook it on and slide it on, and away you go. I do love the chest clip that connects the two straps. Just like the two implements versus one, it kind of completes the frame of the backpack. And now, more or less, it's kind of like a net thrown over your body sitting there rather than two individual straps with all the weight hanging off of them. It does complete the unit as one, one framed backpack that I feel like sits better on you. So pretty cool. Number one, to see Peter on 60 Minutes. This is exactly what we have been talking about and we've been wanting, is a doctor to be able to represent the messages of longevity, resistance training, anti-sarcopenia work, anti-osteopenia work. Don't be afraid, no matter male, female, or how old you are, to get in the gym, to lift weights, that no matter what your disability, your ailment, your disease, your limitation is, resistance training is only going to make it better for you. So get in there and learn and put in effort. You're going to sleep better. You're going to feel better. You're going to move better. There are no downfalls to this unless you don't know what you're doing and or you overtrain. And that's where having someone in your corner that knows what they're doing is the benefit. This is not a plug for you to hire me, okay? I am stressing to you that it's important that if this is the direction you're going, buy Peter's book, right? Get his book, understand what you're about to go and pursue. And then as you start to pursue that, there are things like going for a walk that you can do on your own. Learning to ruck, you should at least do some research on how much and how far and how do I wear the ruck and all that. And my page gives you plenty of options to learn how to do that. I literally have 10 videos, if not more, on just rucking, the benefits, and then step by step how to do it, how to start, what equipment. I've got a whole hour-long video. I go through my entire kit, all the equipment, right? And then when you think about that, you're like, okay, this whole thing that rucking is of value, that lifting is of value, all this, I want to be able to start this whole process off with a pre-assessment. And the first thing that we discussed was grip strength, right? If I could get this pre-assessment done with an in-grip or any dynamometer and get that assessment, now I've got a general idea of what my overall ability is due to this grip strength score. And now I'm going to go ruck. I'm going to go lift. I'm going to go start these daily practices where I'm going to spend 32 minutes a day, because that's our goal, 225 minutes of activity every week. That's 32 minutes a day on average. 7 days a week, no days off. Doesn't mean that you have to lift every single day. It means you need to lift 3 days a week, you need to ruck 3 days a week, and you need to go golf or play pickleball or go swimming or go for a hike, whatever it is. But every single day you do something physically active for at least 32 minutes. Yoga, Tai Chi, any of it, you name it, just be active, okay? But 3 days a week, you should be lifting heavy weights. Male, female, old, young, with cancer, without, you should be lifting heavy weights to the best of your ability. And if you don't know how, and you don't know how to begin, go find a certified professional to help teach you how to do it right. Because this is not something, I'm going to give you the best analogy I can for cars. I don't know anything about it. But if you go to change the oil, I heard this in a movie once, on a 1968 Roadster, I don't know what that is, and you remove the air filter first, you're going to drop the, what was he saying in My Cousin Vinny? You're going to drop the lug nut into the thing, and now the whole engine's screwed. But all you were doing was trying to change the oil. Like, you don't know what you don't know, so you just go digging around in there. You're going to break shit permanently, and that's fitness. If you don't know what you don't know, you just go into the gym and you're like, I'm going to grab this thing, pull on it. I'm going to go over here and push on that thing. Oh, here's a Smith machine. I don't know what that is. Smoosh. And you just snap your body in half. This happens all the time because people don't know. They're like, it's just fitness. I'm sure it's easy. There's pictures on the machines. I'll figure it out. It's your body we're talking about here. Spend $100. Hire somebody to teach you 2 long, hour-long sessions. Get an orientation, learn how to do some things basically well, and then you can go and practice on your own. It's just a backpack. I'm just going to throw it on and go for a walk. It's not. That's why it's not called walking. It's called rucking. It's a different thing. You got to learn how to do it. Now, if you start with the grip strength and you're like, well, you're putting a lot of faith into this grip strength, it's because of research and more research and a little more research and some research and that research and this research and that research and all of these researches across the board there. And this is 10 of the, 400 articles that include grip strength. There's a lot of research that shows and the correlations between grip strength and longevity. And I would say next to creatine, it's probably one of the most researched pieces of the fitness industry is grip strength and its correlation between the higher the score, the better your life quality, the lower the score, the shorter and the worse your life quality. And so use that as a starting point. Read some of these articles. They're fantastic. There's one on here. I don't think I got it in here, but it's the meta-analysis of 28 countries. It was like 58,000 people participated in this study. And it showed the better their grip strength, the longer they lived, the better their life quality. I mean, this is worldwide, these studies being done here on grip strength across the board. And this was one of the posts that I put up earlier this year, talking about for every 11 pounds that you decrease in your grip strength, the chances of dying from non-accidental health issues increases by 16%. Okay, and I put on there, you've heard me discuss sarcopenia in the past and how vital resistance training is to combat that. Now you have a very simple measure of strength levels, and you get a very accurate idea of what your overall health is in that very moment. This grip strength squeeze, look at these scores. Oh, wow, I'm in the low. That means if the average American lives to be 77 and you're in the low category, you are not right now at a predictor to make it to 77 years of age. You'll probably die around 73, 74. Again, these are all statistics and projections, right? I'm not reading tarot cards here. I'm just giving you statistical information. Now, if you start training and you increase that score over 3-4 months, your cardiovascular health is better. Your structural frame of your body is stronger, so you're less likely to fall and have an accident, right? So every 11 pounds, you're either decreasing your chances of survival by 16% every time, or you're increasing it by that. And so take your grip strength from 34 to 70. Wow, you just doubled your score. Okay, well, you've just doubled your potential of living much longer. So predictor-wise, keep doing what you're doing. Instead of 77, you'll live to be 88, 90 years old, something along those lines. There was even one study that showed a correlation between the lower the grip strength, the more medications you were dependent on. And it was accurate, 88%, if I'm remembering that correctly, within 88% accurate. They're like, oh, this person has, a poor grip strength, and they're like, they have 2 chronic diseases. One of them's cardiovascular, and they're on 7 or more dependent medications, meaning like you need it every day to survive kind of a thing. And that 88%, if I'm remembering that right, 84, 88%, something like that, somewhere around in there, 80s, accurate. That's amazing, okay? All from a grip strength test. Like it's really a sound way of getting predictions and ranking you on where things are headed, where you are currently. And it's super simple. Super, super simple. All right. Okay, team, I think we're going to wrap it up here. I hope you had a enjoyable time discussing all this with me. One more time, a shout out here to InBody. This is the In Grip. They are a sponsor of our show here and of our workshop that we have coming up, the TOA workshop on November 7th and 8th. Dynamometer, you turn it on, give it a good squeeze, and boom, there pops up your score. You hit the reset button and switch hands and get another good squeeze on that side, and boom, there we go. Okay, I got 116, 118, so right around there, I'm going to look at that, punch it into the calculator and see what my overall score is, and you're in the good to fair range for a guy in his 40s, whatever, right? Whatever it is. And that is your now starting point for your quality of grip and your overall quality of life predictors. Now train, and then 2-3 months from now, let's test again. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. I hope to see you at the workshop, either virtually or in person. Any comments, questions, if this video is of value to you or anyone in your life, please share with them. Send it out there. Like the channel, please. Please subscribe. Help us grow our channel here. We're desperately trying to get more people involved with this. As we know, we have a good message. We just got to get in front of more people. So please help us out there. Until next time, please continue to fight your good fight against sarcopenia, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.